Edvard Vintus Sansella, but to his friends, he's Solveig.
So,
And
so
sorry,
basically, he's going to be added in when you guys get this communique from Valaasii, the Starship Corporation. They send you. He is the one who actually brought the communique, and he's going. It's basically indicated that he's going to be joining your group there at Tuwak or Tuwaic. And so yeah, go. Give us some of your background. You're an ambassador. Give us the full rundown.
you wanted to know more about my family history?
Yeah, tell us all.
So my father is a Marquis Sansella. He's at Regina. And being the younger son, there are three brothers. I knew that I wasn't in line to inherit the title. So I joined the diplomatic corps, and I did that for 6 tours. So I'm 46 years old.
Well, I mean, at
And
that
very
point,
little.
you have two options. You can either join the diplomatic corps, or you can become a wealthy playboy with a yacht.
Yeah, might have gone for both, but
Well, little column A, little column B.
Almost no combat skills to speak of. Just a little bit, mostly picked up from actually the skill packages that Chris gave us. But he does have pretty good blade skills. He carries a sword and knows how to use it. So I know you guys were talking about wanting to learn to use a blade, and Chris said that he gave benefits for having trainers, so maybe we can work on that.
Yes.
In our downtime. Might buy some fencing equipment or something. He's fairly down to earth. He's a practical guy. He's not stuck up on the nobility and acting haughty all the time, but that is a card he's willing to play if it helps in administrative situations.
So,
Nice.
if you've ever met somebody that actually has a noble title, it's very weird, especially if they're in a situation where they're way down the line. But it can be very weird because they can turn it on and off. Like, they could be normal Joe, your best friend, going out being a drinking buddy 1 second, and then if something more authoritative or official comes up, bam, they like switch over, and it's weird. It's like they're programmed with a separate personality. It's strange. But yeah, no, I get
That's
it.
exactly what I'm going for. While he was in the diplomatic corps, he obviously everybody's aware that travel takes a long time. So diplomats have a lot of leeway in how they conduct their negotiations, but they're given their marching orders from their government or whoever they're representing in advance.
Right.
So he discovered having computer skills was really handy for maybe getting some inside information about what their ultimate negotiating positions could be on the opposite side of the table. And protecting that information is also critical. So he's got really good computer skills in addition to other things like admin, advocate, etc.
Nice. Is this the character? I mean, when we initially talked, you said you had two characters. One was a medic. Was this also the medic character, or is this the other one?
This is not the medic.
Okay.
Since I'd played with him a little bit, even though it was only 3 sessions, I decided to go this other way.
So yeah, I mean, it would make sense that the corporation would send you for this. And let me look something up. So I will. This is and we are recording. We are hello, welcome to Crisis of Empire. We are introducing a new character. My bad. He should have been introduced last week, but things happened so fast, and these guys ran out of. They got off of Bruford so quickly that, and there was a space battle, and it was pretty
Yeah, it was
quick.
kind of quick.
It was pretty
Fun week.
quick and hairy. That you guys, the option was to either introduce him this week as part of these new orders from the Reidd-Valaasii, or uh, during jump time that you guys just look and be like, huh, we're expending more life support than normal. You know, there's this guy sleeping in one of the cabins that nobody knows who he is. Oh, I showed up somehow. And so we went with the more logical one. Um, but these guys have left Briefert. They are on Tuik, and they have gotten an order to go to Hazel. And Hazel has a history of being a touristy planet. And on Hazel, they are looking for a shipwreck. And what had happened, they basically Reidd-Valaasii, who does a lot of business with Sternmetal Horizons, has they're loaning out these troubleshooters. You guys are customer service, and so basically Hazel and pretty much most of the Trinsvale subsector has basically lied to the outside corporations and whatnot about mineral reserves that are found on Hazel. And it's not that it can't be beat in courts, but Sternmetal Horizons at least attempted to be quiet. They tried to quietly do a mineral survey, and the initial results that came back to them proved that Hazel wasn't fantastic, but it did have some mineral reserves that would be worth exploiting. And Trinsvale, of course, tried to cover most of that up. Well, in the meantime, a rebellion on Hazel broke out, and it exists to this current day. It's been going on for about the last 10 years. And the survey team that was down there was in a boat on Lake, I want to say, Okayama, or Okayama. That's probably, yes. New Okayama is the city, and the lake is Lake Okayama. Their boat was shot up and sank to the bottom of the lake with the survey results. And so the Sternmetal Horizons doesn't want to send in their personal, security team and cause a whole bunch of ruckus. And they don't want to exacerbate a situation either with the rebels or with the government. And so they are asking Reidd-Valaasii if they have some deniable assets that could be sent in. And Reidd-Valaasii said, hey, we know exactly the guys, and they're nearby. And so that's your mission, is to get down to Hazel. Hazel has a really high really high law level of 7. Pretty much everything except stunners and blades. I think maybe shotguns are okay. Let me double check that.
Hope so.
Shotguns are usually pretty lower, pretty higher.
No,
higher.
Shotguns are banned at 7.
Unrealistic.
So it is shotguns, all firearms, except for stunners. Carrying it, but even with stunners, carrying weapons are discouraged. Personal concealable weapons, light assault weapons and submachine guns, military weapons, portable energy and laser weapons, undetectable weapons, WMDs, explosives, poison gas. Armor is mesh cloth, flak, combat armor, and battle dress. So basically anything that is going to outwardly look like armor. In that list at 7 is going to be like polycarbonate. That's going to be, of course, banned as well. Now, Reidd-Valaasii, or rather Sternmetal Horizons, they have a plan to kind of circumvent this. You land at the starport, you act like you're tourists, they let you out of the starport, you're unarmed, and Sternmetal Horizons has paid a crappy little trade crew to do an airdrop of equipment that you can pick up. And included in this equipment will be flak jackets, which are going to be tech level 8, so they'll have +5 protection. There will be advanced combat rifles with 2 magazines, and auto pistols with 2 magazines, as well as a diving kit and a robo diver that will be made available so that Ronnie can get his remote ops on to send down to the deeps. And so that will be included. If you have anything that you personally want added to that airdrop, now's the time. You can also, any funds that you have, you can use to go shopping on Tuwaiq. We mentioned that last week. I know that some of you had a list. One of you, at least one of you, already okayed your list, except for the amounts.
I copied.
Yeah, except for the amounts of ammunition that you wanted to carry.
I copied Remo's list.
I'm not wanting to necessarily carry it, but have it on the ship or somewhere for future adventures.
Yes,
most of the stuff isn't coming with.
Yeah, that's perfect. If you leave it on the ship, that's perfectly okay. Now, the thing, if you add it to the airdrop, there is a very, very good chance that it will be confiscated, may result in arrest and fines coming back through, because you're going to have to go back through the port to leave. So,
no.
So, you'll want to be careful if there's stuff that you want to add. If you want to add something to the airdrop, pretty much assume that it's disposable and will be left in the field.
Do we have to provide our own suits and everything, or what?
I just want to add an anvil to see how it looks like when it hits.
So before we get into shopping, this is for Salve. This is the base model of their ship. It is provided by Reidd-Valaasii to them as their corporate ride. It is an SX Extended Scout, and I've got it has been modified a little bit. The double turret has 2 beam lasers in it, and we do have this as well. We have the PDF of the Ouroboros character sheet for the ship.
Thank you.
And so that's all available for your perusal. Fortunately, and I don't even know if it would work. I would really like for this to be a form fillable sheet, like for tracking critical hits and stuff, would be fantastic. But I don't know that whatever this reader window is inside of Roll20, I don't know that it would know what to do with a form fillable. But that would be fantastic. So I don't know. There might be an updated one that you guys can track somewhere else in the background. But this is the basic ship. Other than the weapons, there's really been no modifications made to it.
And only 5 staterooms, right?
That is correct. So some of you guys are going to be doubling up. They are double bunk staterooms. So this could essentially carry 10 crew members.
We have a kitchen on this ship?
Yes, number 11 is a common area that would have a kitchen along with a dual-purpose dishwasher, laundry unit. I don't know that there's like an auto chef or anything in there, but you know, this would be where you would make your meal.
I got a little hot pot and a hibachi. I try to do a little cooking on the ship.
Sure. So I mean,
something I'm working on.
So
I didn't ask anybody; I just started doing it.
He just does it. So, I mean, technically speaking, I mean, what you really want is you want the person with the steward skill, hopefully the best steward skill, to be their cook. But if you want to get into a more granular level, you can even pick out what staterooms you guys are staying in, and I will modify this page to actually list, and we can modify these number 8s as like 8A as, you know, Ronnie and Remo, and 8B as Takahashi and Mintaka, or however you guys want to do it. So you can let me know about that in Discord, or you can just pick it out now. But as far as like shopping on Tuwaiq, is there any? Let's see. So yeah, you have you could purchase the heated dive suit if you wanted. This is supplied for each of you in the airdrop.
Okay. Good.
Oh, okay.
And this is a warm world, right?
Yeah, it's fairly comfortable. I mean, I wouldn't say that it's in the Goldilocks zone. It's not too hot, not too cold. I wouldn't say it's tropical, but it is comfortable.
Okay.
What if we want to use a vac suit?
I mean,
bring it ourselves.
You could.
What tech level are you?
Right. So
level 10.
So Reidd-Valaasii has issued vac suits to everybody aboard, and they are not fantastic.
Yeah, I mean it's like about as good as our modern spacesuits.
Yeah, that there it is. I was in the wrong book. They are.
Jeff, you actually have steward?
Yes.
Would you roll that?
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, I guess there's good food in the common area.
Yeah, I'm in there smoking and cooking all the time.
So these are TL8 standard basic vac suits with +4 protection. They have protection of 15 rads. They're not fantastic. They also require vac suit 1.
How heavy are they?
20 kilograms or 28 kilograms.
Yeah, I'm not swimming in one of those.
So here is the full civilian chart.
So there is an upgrade kit, basic submarine function. It's spendy, but
you still need some way to propel yourself, because if you're wearing a suit that heavy, you're going straight down.
That's true. That's true. A 28 kilogram vac suit's gonna be a big stone.
Forces us to get the inoculation, right?
Yes, yeah, and you have been supplied with the inoculation, because Hazel does have a bit of a taint to its atmosphere. This taint takes the form of a bacterial infection pretty much in the atmosphere that causes some rather nasty respiratory illness in most newcomers. People that have acclimated to the environment and spent, more than it actually takes a little while, but around 6-month mark, people get over it, and then they don't have problems with it anymore. But there is an inoculation. It is good for 7 days. You have been supplied. Each person has been supplied with 2 of these inoculations. So one can be done before you make planetfall, and you can have the other one ready if you were even there that long. It isn't listed as to any kind of time frame. It's loosey goosey. It takes as long as it takes, but the implications of the request are that this shouldn't take very long.
Yeah. Okay.
But yes, if Takahashi wants to buy the heated dive suit, he certainly can.
Perfect.
Speaking of getting things off world, we've got bodies to get off world potentially. And I'd expect those to generate questions. We're here tourists, we're fishing, whatever, and
we brought up bodies, and now we're taking them with us.
We found these 6 dead guys that we're going to take home now.
We can haul out some dolphins.
Yeah, technically that may fall on Salve. You are the diplomat. You're the mouthpiece face. Do you have of course, I'm assuming you have the diplomat skill.
Yes.
And do you have broker?
I think I bought a broker chip. I don't think I have that skill myself.
Yeah, if you've got a wafer jack or a neural jack, fantastic. So yeah, that's good. And do you
the planet doesn't want it's a tourist planet. It doesn't want to have a problem with bodies.
Right.
With no explanation.
Yeah.
Do you have admin or advocate is another question.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. So
both of those.
I mean, that looks like a problem for Salve to deal with when the time comes. Because
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
that is brought up that there are likely to be questions at customs when you try to leave or come back into the starport, and you're towing in 3 or 4 body bags with swollen corpses that have been down at the bottom of a lake for the last 6 months.
Yeah, that's gonna suck.
I can back you up on in some of those skills. I don't have the diplomacy, but admin advocate. I mean, my character's got 16
Yeah, I
years
got diplomacy
as a
too.
corporate agent.
Okay.
Yep.
For the team, does it sound better, like if we front load this problem and talk to officialdom before we go out into the wilds and say, "Hey, some of our friends went missing. We're looking for them."
I think
Well, I'm just spitballing.
I
That's
would
all.
argue that we'd be better. We don't know what we're going to encounter, and so it means that we will really restrict our bullshit we can say if we talk now.
So
Talk too much.
The less we talk and the more we realize what we're dealing with, the more we can tailor a
So
bullshit story.
Sternmetal Horizons is wanting to keep this on the down low and kind of send you in as like a covert team, which is why they can deny anything if you guys completely. I don't know how you could completely boner this, but if you do, they could be like, we don't know those guys. So the implication to that is that they don't really want the Hazel government at the starport to know what's going on. It doesn't necessarily mean you guys are free to conduct the mission however you want. So if you decide that you want to, talk to Starport Authority about this beforehand, you certainly can. It's not going to change the payout at the end. Payout, now, in addition to your 2,000 credit monthly stipend that you get from Reidd-Valaasii, this one could potentially pay out quite a bit of money because the survey data combined with an exact pinpoint location of where the wreck is, along with the bodies, you're looking at like 310,000 credits total that can be divided up amongst you.
Yeah, cool.
So that would be that's bonus, and Reidd-Valaasii is pretty much allowing you to take that bonus carte blanche.
As long as we don't need any weird gear up front, right?
I'm really glad. No, I'm really glad you said that because I am going to pick up a surveying toolkit.
That would be an excellent idea, and a surveying toolkit. You could probably get that through customs with no questions asked.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an amateur geologist.
Right.
I love this stuff.
Lick the rocks.
Yeah,
So when we leave, maybe we pick up the bodies on the way out. Use the air raft to go get the bodies and retrieve them and not mess with customs.
Yeah, I have a feeling that whatever we're going to find will be nuts and not something we anticipate. And so the less we say going in, the more we can tailor our exit story to what we did encounter.
So yes, the Ouroboros is equipped with an air raft. It is a standard open top model, the dumbest of all space air rafts.
Perfect for transporting bodies.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes. You can hide everything in this baby.
Perfect for threatening the players with locust swarms.
And what's the depth of the lake? How deep is the lake?
That's a really good question. Let's see. What does it say?
Hold up in my library.
I'm just wondering for cold temperature.
So, I don't know. It doesn't look like it's that big, and it doesn't look like a lake that would be created like inside of a crater.
Yeah, it's not a volcanic
temperature lake. Doesn't drop 15 degrees Fahrenheit,
it's
right?
It's not Lake Tahoe.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is more of just a typical big drainage ditch type lake.
Okay.
How good is our location that we have for the wreck?
So the wreck location, the last known location that they have is here.
Right, but how
That-
solid is that? Because that's
It's not great.
okay.
So I mean, each of
Well,
these
that's surveying
hexes
equipment.
is 10 miles. So I mean, it's narrowed it down to maybe into a 5-mile quarter of this hex.
Surveying equipment will help find that.
It should, as should the robodiver that is supplied.
Okay.
Here is the robodiver.
Yeah, so I'm getting the advanced that has the locators and mapping software.
Okay.
It's got an inertial.
Do you have a page on that?
Yeah, it's page 130 of Central Supply Catalog.
Okay.
It's tech level 9, so it's not.
That would be perfect.
It's a bit expensive, but
I'll grab a.
it is something we can use again later.
Yes. And this is one of those things. I mean, it might sound like a one-use item, but you would be surprised.
I'm expecting the cutting torch that I'm getting can be used underwater in case we need to cut into the wreck.
What tech level is
it? Anything up to 11, right? But
correct. Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you want to get a TL11 cutting torch, then yeah. So I mean, you have a couple of options. I mean, there's like the tool laser.
Tool laser's too high tech.
That's a little too high tech.
Cutting torch was on 126.
Let's see here.
Yeah, cutting torch is what he's looking for. It's basically it's a welding torch.
Yeah, and I did improved.
At tech level 10, I would say it would be able to be used underwater.
Okay, cool.
Just a second. I always make a snippet of these. That way, if we need to look them up again later, they're there. So we got.
Do we need to talk about buying things like bags or storage boxes, anything like that, or magazine carriers, or is that assumed?
I would say that that's probably assumed.
Okay, thank you.
We don't need to get into that level of granularity. I know that some games do, but I do want you to track ammo.
I have 12 disposable plastic bags. No.
Yes. Yeah. I'm going to carry
5 rolls of toilet paper.
I carry an entire starship on my back, and I've played
exactly. How much toilet paper have you brought? Every day we will roll to see how many sheets you've used.
Yes. We're on a ration. Only use 1 square. What was it that they say in the Marines? That a real Marine can do everything he needs to do with 1 square. There we go. All right.
Okay. From a political perspective, do I need to worry about introducing myself to local nobility? I know there's a marquee here. Is that polite or custom or even law that I need to do that?
I wouldn't say that it would be law. It would. I mean, would it be the polite thing to do? Yes. However, there are certain caveats and addendums to that. I mean, if you are in a situation, where you have to maintain secrecy, or it is, a clandestine operation, that can, of course, be overlooked. So I guess it's up to you. But for the most part, I don't know how much actual interplay they would have within the actual planetary government of Hazel. It sounds to me like not much. Because if they did, there would probably be more action being done to curtail these rebels. So, to to my way of thinking, whatever nobility is on Hazel is probably more along the lines of like a vacation house to them, or or they're so low ranked that they're just not, they just don't matter, kind of thing.
Okay. All right.
So that would be entirely up to you.
No, I won't bother if it's not going to be expected.
Okay. So,
Yeah, he just wants to make sure that nobody's gonna get pissed off that a noble snuck into their backyard unannounced.
right,
Exactly. And then start asking questions because of it.
right. So
We've all played Vampire the Masquerade.
so
We know
yes.
you
Oh
enter
my
another
God.
prince's domain.
Back when I was an angsty teenager, I played Vampire. Yes to the rescue bubble. You can, of course, purchase that. Yes to waterproof backpack. Yes to improved survival kit, and yes to spear gun. You can, of course, buy that many spears. That's fine. So yes, you are a cook and a professional smoker. Yeah, well, I don't know how much smoking you're going to be doing in the galley, but so looking at this map, so from Tuwick, this is a J2 ship. Whoops. So from Tuwick, you probably went to Iruku, did wilderness refueling, and then to Hazel. You guys, if you haven't done so already, I think I said something about it last week. You can have 2 weeks of study periods. So for Salve, if there's something that you want to study, now's the time to start. This gives you 2 weeks of study periods. Now, the way I do it is that at the end of each 8-week period is when you do a education check. And the reason for that is that you don't lose an entire block. So if you're going from like, say, 1 to 2, that's 2 8-week periods. If you are on that second 8-week period and you fail your education check, you only lose 8 weeks. You don't lose 16. Because I think that's too punishing.
He locks in every 8 weeks.
Yeah, every 8 weeks it's locked in.
Am I training anybody on Blade?
So what are you wanting to train in?
Yeah.
Well, if somebody wants training in Blade, I don't think I could train too. Right? Because I'm helping them.
Yeah, what's your rank in Blade?
3.
Wow.
That's great. That's really good.
3's pretty good. You probably could, I would say. So as a usual rule, and I'm sure there's probably a bell curve to this, but at 3, I would think that you could take on 2 students.
Happy to do it if you guys want
to train them up to 0 or 1.
I'm already at level 1.
So yeah, but if you are training somebody else, then you would not be able to add a week of study time because your time is spent helping somebody else.
Understood. So anybody want to learn Blade or no?
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
In that case,
sure.
Sorry?
Sure, I would like to.
Okay. That's what I'm doing then.
Okay. So Gully, you can add 2 weeks to a study period of melee blade.
In addition to the 2 weeks that we get for the jump?
No.
I've got us at 6 weeks before.
Yeah, that's what I got too.
Before this session started. I don't know.
Yeah, we the first thing the very last thing we did last week was add 2 weeks to our.
And
Okay.
I believe that my 6 includes that 2 weeks. So that's why I want to make sure. Yeah, that the 6
It
weeks,
does.
everything up till today.
So
We've already added.
if you take the training, then you break your previous study period.
Unless
So I'm gonna wait. No, I won't be trained then.
Okay. I mean, this is not something that can't be done again later. You know what I mean? I mean, his ability to train people will always be available. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah. You spend 2 weeks coming to Hazel. And this is the Hazel star system. It is a binary system. Not a whole lot going on out in that secondary system, despite what Traveler 5 says, which is where I got most of these codes. So a lot of these codes, I don't know what a lot of them mean, because I don't know if you guys have tried reading Traveler 5. It's wild. It's a great toolbox, but it is not something I would run. But anyways, this is Hazel. Hazel is kind of sitting all the way out here. It is the F15 primary star in the system, and you come out of jump. So this would not be considered a high traffic space, but I would consider it settled space. They do not have a high port. Oh, I did that wrong. Really? 67? So coming in, you do not. There is no other traffic in system. Not even freighters. Nothing.
And this is a tourist destination.
The tourism has died down considerably since the war broke out 10 years ago, and essentially, so like that map of the lake, the rebels control the northern half, and the Hazel government controls the southern half, and the government or the Sternmetal Horizons official basically told you guys that that Hazel has had a tourist economy, and so they are willing to basically throw everything at tourists, including guides. And so you can purchase a guide, but those guides are going to have the primary part of their job being to discourage you from going too far north, and thus angering the rebels. They're also trying, of course, the government is also trying to curtail, counterintelligence and things like that are trying to get back to the rebels, and so these guides are basically there more to keep an eye on the situation and report anything that they deem is irregular. But as you guys come out of jump, you are, of course, let's see here.
Can you quantify what too far north is?
Not really. There's really no delineating line. It's just more or less this is what the guides are for. And so they'll tell you, like, no, we need to turn around, or I feel like it's too far, that kind of thing. Hold on here. Oh, that's size. So Hazel is about 9,600 kilometers with a 0.7 g gravity, which means you guys come out of jump at about 960,000 kilometers. You're coming in. As far as the rest of it, you're looking at thin tainted world with a 0.43 to 0.7 pressure. A filter mask is required, which you all have available. That's in your ship's locker, of course. It has 46 to 55% water. It is a large ocean. Population of tens of millions, probably around the 70 or 700, or I'm sorry, 70 million mark. Government is, it's supposed to be a representative democracy. That, of course, is in question. Then law level 7 with a local tech level of 5, which they were bolstered previously because of the tourist economy, and but the local tech level is still sitting around 5. Here.
Hey, you want to hail them to land?
Yeah, who's piloting?
I've got pilot
I
one.
have been piloting. I don't know who's piloting now.
I'm definitely a more backup pilot. I'm rolling a flat
If I'm
zero.
pounding, we're in trouble.
You want me to do I got to roll or something?
I don't think you have to roll. Who wants to radio Starport Authority request?
Just tell them we're coming in for some R&R.
Yeah, who wants to make the call?
Hazel Control, Scout Ship Ouroboros, inbound to land 50 diameters.
Yeah, we have you on screens, Ouroboros. Welcome to the system. What is your purpose on Hazel?
We're on vacation.
Excellent. That is what we like to hear. So you are cleared for docking at docking port 92.
Ouroboros clear to land.
And so it takes you about 236 minutes, roughly, to make your way into Hazel and set down at the downport. This, of course, is the planetary map as you are coming in. Is there anything, nobody's going to fault you if you want to try to do a scan or anything coming in. That's entirely up to you. It's up to you guys if you want to do that or not.
We should probably get laid. Yeah, probably not a bad idea.
Yeah, let's just do it. Passing.
I don't have sensors, so
Yep, anybody who wants to can make an electronic sensors plus intellect check.
I can do
And
it.
you get a +1 to that.
I'll do it. I've slotted my.
I just did it.
There you go.
Nice.
No
so
problem.
yeah, you bring up quite a bit of information. This is, of course, the location of the starport, kind of coastal community. You also, of course, bring up this, which is what looks to be a small city. Here's another small city. Wow, this planet's dotted with them. There's another small city, and then, of course, a noble estate. And pretty much your sensor pass confirms library data that you already have available. God, there's another small city. This is a fairly populated planet, which quite honestly is unusual. When I usually pull these maps up, it's Pretty barren of life, at least. At least it was when we were playing Deep Night. So, I mean, this is refreshing. Like, wow, there's people actually living here. And so you guys come down into this starport, which has a, as you are coming in, you can see that it has a rather robust star town that is built up around the starport. And even as you are, it would be like flying a plane over, any kind of beach resort kind of community. Like if you were to fly a Cessna over, a low pass over Puerto Vallarta, that's kind of what this looks like. Except that with your sensor pass, you immediately kind of notice the lack of people that would normally be on the beaches, and you distinctly can see that the resorts seem to be, a lot of them are abandoned or boarded up. And so you guys set down in your ascribed docking bay, and you are cleared, and you are setting down, flipping switches, and you can see out of your port view that a customs administrator and associated 4 guards are kind of moving their way. They're not like marching, and they're not heavily armed. They are all carrying sidearms, but they are the administrator, of course. The customs administrator has his clipboard style tablet portable computer, and they're walking up to Ouroboros and kind of waiting for you guys to open the airlock and step out. How do you guys want to greet him or deal with it?
So if you take the lead, we'll go out with Ottawa with the gear that we were supposed to, that fits the law level.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's law level 7, so I mean, that's how you guys want to step out and greet him is up to you, but keep in mind that it is law level 7.
Okay.
Essentially everything but stunners and, stunners and blades are allowed, but carrying weapons is discouraged.
Okay. What was that last word?
I said stunners and blades are allowed, but carrying of any weapons is discouraged.
Well, this is actually perfect. So I'm going to walk right up to him and go, oh, perfect. We've been looking for somebody who can settle this argument. We've come here to do some recreational swimming and fishing, and we were uncertain if we were allowed to bring spear guns onto the planet. And so you could help us settle that. We don't want to cause any problems if we've broken the law.
Okay. Go ahead and
Not that I could hit anything with mine.
I mean, you're not. I mean, go ahead and make your choice. You can make a deception plus intellect check, or you can make a diplomat plus intellect check.
And deception it is. 12.
Nice.
Yes.
And so
thank God for Spooks.
So the administrator kind of looks at his tablet, and he taps the screen, and he goes, and he wears old-fashioned spectacles. He like the wire-rimmed round spectacles, rather than having, optical surgery. And he kind of fixes his glasses and says, well, we do have, there is some good spear fishing on Lake Okayama, so I can see why you would want to bring them, but there is a limit to carrying 2 spears per person, and there is a catch limit. If you are spearing for fish, there is a catch limit of 1 fish up to 1 foot in length per person per day.
Is there any licensing that we need to get to do that recreational fishing?
He says, indeed there is. There is a
Perfect.
20 credit fishing license, and I might I recommend once we get over this entire customs bit, which I'm sure you're happy to allow us to do. Once we get past this, just inside in the Starport concourse, there are a number of terminals that you can select an excellent guide. Will you be needing to rent a vehicle while you are here, or did you bring your own?
Got anything with a roof?
Oh shit.
Otherwise, we brought our
Hope
own.
not to let me drive our last fishing trip.
So, god damn it. So I've been metagame timeout. So the next book I'm gonna buy is the new vehicle book. And it's like thinking I'm like, I was gonna buy that earlier today, but I got tied up in a bunch of appointments. I should have bought that. But anyways, he says, well, we have a number of ground vehicles available, but if you have something better, and all of their ground vehicles, of course, are like tech level 5, wheeled 4-wheel drive type of Outback,
We do have an air car, but we were not certain the legality of flying around on your planet.
No, there shouldn't be any problem with that. Although we
Okay.
will want you to keep your flight ceiling below, lower to the ground, below 20 meters.
Below 20 meters. Okay.
And so he tells you, he's like, so yes, once we're done with this, we can go ahead and we can sign you up for a guide. And he says these gentlemen are here to do an inspection of your ship.
Okay.
So these guys kind of, they're actually, for customs officials, they are quite polite. They go through the ship, from bow to stern, and they don't really toss the place too much. They are just looking everything over. As far as like personal cabins, they just open the door and kind of glance inside. I'm sure, I have this image in my head of Gully's stateroom, where it's kind of like Jane's in Firefly, where there's a whole bunch of guns on the wall next to the bunk that he keeps covered up with a blanket. But they just open the door and just kind of glance in.
He's also got some aspirational outlines of where his future gun will go once he buys that.
My dad used to do that for tools over his tool bench. He'd like draw. Yes, exactly like that.
That's funny.
And so yeah, they just kind of look over, and this goes on, probably typical inspection check takes about 3 hours. They go over your logs, they go over engineering stuff. They do at the end determine that Ouroboros is. So when you guys got Ouroboros, it was practically off the showroom floor, and I mean there is, of course, some evidence that it has been in combat, but it doesn't look like it took any direct hits or anything like that. And they rate the ship as flyable, and they come back down. And you guys, meanwhile, have been kind of either lolling around inside the ship waiting for the inspection to finish, or sitting in their little customs seating area drinking U-Bahn coffee and eating popcorn while they complete their inspection. But in the end, after 3 hours, they come back and give you the green light. The ship is clear. There's no contraband, so long as all weapons are left banned weapons are left aboard. And you are, of course, warned. Carrying weapons around on Hazel is discouraged. We understand that you're going out into the Outback, and so you do have a license for the spear guns, 2 spears per person, 1 foot long fish per day. And aside from that, everything should be golden. So how do you guys want to proceed from
protection from predators?
Well, Hazel doesn't have a whole lot of predators, but and the customs official that has been assigned to your docking bay, he tells you Hazel is is blessed in not having too many large predators. There are some to the south, but we're pretty golden here. He tells you that for the most part, he says, as far as predators go, unfortunately, and he says, I don't know if you have checked the newsreels, but unfortunately, we are in a bit of turmoil at the moment, and this is one of the reasons why we recommend guides. The guides can kind of gently, push you away from some of these more difficult, prone areas. Because we wouldn't want anybody to become embroiled in a gunfight with rebels and become injured. That would be a tragedy that nobody needs.
Especially since you've disarmed the tourists.
Well, yes.
Solveig glares at him.
He says, yes, yes. It is an unfortunate situation. However, all of our guides do have a transponder, long range transponder, that if there is some kind of rebel activity that goes on, they can hit that button, and trained military forces are only a moment away.
Uh-uh.
So, so you are you're given a list of guides, and each of their pictures comes up, and as you're kind of looking through these guides, I mean, all of them kind of look like your typical. Um, they all kind of look like your typical lake beach bum kind of individual. Long hair, you know, like they haven't shaved in like 4 or 5 days.
Are they bonded?
They are bonded to the Hazel government.
Okay. Something to keep in mind, Gully. These guys are going to have a transponder on them, so if we have guides with us and so some shit goes down, that could be good or bad.
That's true.
The whole thing's bad.
Yeah.
We can't have these guys with us.
No.
Now,
And let's pray to God they don't open my spear gun case.
something to are you keeping things other than a spear gun in your spear gun case?
I have a body pistol concealed in there.
Oh, okay. Okay. Go ahead and make a deception with a +4 to that. Deception plus intellect with a +4.
So deception +1. So what is intellect? It's my intellect mod. Boy. So 6.
Okay, so you are able to kind of slide this stuff through, and their scanners are not able to detect that there's anything other than a spear gun. They're probably not even able to detect what's inside the case.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tech level 5 scanners, so.
And the combat rifles that come with a drop, right? Some of that equipment.
Yes, additional stuff will come with the drop. So one of the things that I will allow anybody who wants to can make an admin plus intellect check.
That sounds like me. So I'm admin 2 plus intellect of 1. Back to the skills page. Do I need to put in the modifier, or will it automatically do that based on the characteristic?
I believe that it will automatically do it. Yeah, that looks right. So
Why am I rolling 3 dice? I roll
because
3?
because it automatically calculates Bane or Boon,
Okay.
which in this case it doesn't apply. But so you it occurs to Salve. The customs agent that is assigned to your docking bay did not say that it was a requirement to have a guide. They just
Yeah.
they are just offering guides for tourists. And it seems like he worded it in a specific way that it implied that you should have a guide, but there doesn't seem that there's any law on the books that requires it.
Yeah. So we need to see about procuring a vessel of some sort then?
Well, you have the air raft. So you guys are currently right here. Each hex is 10 miles. So you're not too far from New Okayama. And New Okayama, of course, comes up as, on everything as being kind of a resort town. These
You want to go
other
there first? We'll suss out any leads in the town.
Yep.
there are some news feeds that have come in to the Hazel starport. The first is this. So there is some political shit going on in the Spinward Marches that is important enough that it has made the Traveler News Service. Another news article comes in that is showing that there was some kind of catastrophe, natural disaster on Woolston in District 268 that has brought in the Church of Stellar Divinity and one Bishop Lewins of Atsan, who has brought in a bunch of aid. These are two things that are quite hot topics going on right now, and those are things that are on all the screens as you are coming through the starport.
Do I know this Viscount?
Yes. So you would.
Oh no.
You would know this Viscount. I don't necessarily. I don't think that you know him personally. Let me pull him up.
He's pretty senior, so
He is.
I've probably heard of him.
So this guy, this guy's a piece of work.
Too much gold, not enough brocade. Don't like him.
So, Viscount Urast has basically started his naval career in his youth, and of course, as a nobleman, he rose rapidly through the ranks, and then he kind of hit a wall. And basically, he hit the wall because he really had no real skill at naval tactics or really anything naval. I mean, he basically rose through the ranks on his name alone, and then they just stopped promoting him. And so he then ended up rising through the ranks through a method known as ponding. And so you have these smaller fleets that are either, from an Imperial Navy standpoint, then down to a subsector Navy standpoint. He would transfer there and rise up through the ranks. And then he would go from the subsector Navy down to like a colonial fleet until he finally, in the colonial fleet, ended up being made a Commodore. And that's when he was basically lifted up to become the Viscount of New Rome, in which case he then he basically resigned his naval commission. His previous commander was Rear Admiral Prasad, Isabel Prasad, and she has nothing good to say about this guy. But on the flip side, he's basically done a counterattack politically against her, and she is now kind of defending herself, being reprimanded for, and it was very specific here. She is being reprimanded for interfering in naval affairs to an excessive degree, which is a very very specific, very loose criminal charge, considering that she's a rear admiral. So it's probably not something that's going to stick as far as a reprimand goes, but she is currently having to deal with that. She has not been placed on leave, and she has not been docked her rank. So essentially, Viscount Uras is kind of a jerk.
Okay. That's over in New Rome.
Correct. Yeah, it's a ways away, but it is making the news because it's one of those things that does kind of affect the entire Spinward Marches sector. The other thing to know about the Spinward Marches, this is funny, I didn't know this until I read this the other night. The year is currently 1105-ish. We're in that golden zone. The Spinward Marches does not have a sector admiral. They basically there have been several names posited, and none of the nobility can agree on anything. The other thing that the Spinward Marches does not have is they do not have a sector duke. So there's nobody sitting at the top of the chain of command, and there's nobody running the naval forces. Essentially, everything is all spitballed by the individual dukes, marquises, and barons throughout the entire subsector. There are several fortress worlds like Messine or Mora, but there is no central leadership, and there is no sector admiral for the fleets. This is seen as problematic, but it is a internal political beef within the Imperium.
Okay. Should we see about renting a boat of some sort?
So yeah, I
Yeah, but
mean,
not in Okayama. Let's move up there closer to the where it supposedly sank.
so I'm going to use Ouroboros to show us where you're at. So who's driving? It's a flyer Grav. Anybody?
I'm rolling a 0.
I've got flyers.
I'm with a 0 dex, so.
I'm a little better than that.
You don't need to. I mean, there's
a
there's a road that goes from here to New Okayama that you don't need to make any drive checks necessarily. Just nice to know who's at the wheel in case something does happen. But it doesn't take you very long in an air raft, even at below the 20-meter limit, and you zip on over to New Okayama. And the drive from the Star Town to New Okayama, you are seeing pretty much what this map shows. It is, I wouldn't necessarily say, it would be like almost an arid, like an arid island kind of atmosphere. A lot of sand. You see a lot of wrecked vehicles that have just been abandoned on the side of the road. Every so often you pass one of these. You don't see a whole lot of people making traffic on this road. And when you pull into New Okayama, you see that there are several of these large resort type buildings that are boarded up. Like they've got most of them have busted out windows, and they've replaced the glass with plywood kind of stuff. There are a few of the resorts that are still open, but those are kind of the bigger local ones. And you notice that there are no major like eateries. Like you don't see an Astro Burger that is operating. You don't see like a generic bar and grill or a brew. You do see a brew house tavern that is still up and running. but no generic. There's no Astroburger. There is a very run down um, uh, what's Advantage Hotel that is constructed out of shipping containers, but it doesn't look like it's had any guests in a long time, and all the shipping containers are showing signs of rust and whatnot on them. It looks like crap. Uh, but those are like the main businesses. Everything else seems to be very local and very small, and there's not a lot of traffic here.
What's the other town that's to the north? I think somebody else tried to ask about that
Up
on the
here,
other side of it. Yeah, that.
okay. So that
And where's the line supposed to be for the rebels and the government?
so for that, hold on. Let me find the name of the city first. This one doesn't necessarily have a name. It is a large it is a basically just a resort, kind of like a Disney World type of thing. The next major city though is Kokta. It is or town up here. The line for so make a somebody needs to make an electronics computers and you get a bonus for any kind of database software or agent that you're making that you're using. Electronics computers plus intellect.
Okay.
How do you get the agent?
So agent is a software package. It can
Um,
be it'll grant a +1 to assist you. And some database packages will also give you a bonus according to their bandwidth to help you search.
That's
Oh,
weird.
there's two pluses, that's why. But you rolled
Oh,
boxcars.
When that pop up comes up, you do not need to enter +1, just the number for
okay.
positive, -1 if it's negative.
Thank you.
So 12. So
That's
you got an
exactly what I did.
18.
So
So
it happens all the time. Folks that are new to playing with this particular character
it
sheet.
it happens in
Oh,
our CNC character sheet on Thursday nights too. It's very it's very strange. But yeah. Anyways, you find that the line, as far as where the rebels pretty much kind of have the lay of the land, is right about here.
oh, so this resort is in rebel territory.
Yes,
Is a line east-west.
yes. In fact, I can do that. That is pretty much the rebel line.
okay.
So
And
the air raft is. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say that this line is more or less imaginary. Like everything that you're finding in the database is that, oh well, that resort is overrun with rebels. Then you might find another report like, no, there might be rebels tooling around on the lake. And I mean, you got an 18. So one of the things that you've found is that there are reports that and you when you pull into New Okayama, you see this, is that there are a number of the what they call steamers that are docked, and they're just sitting there. These boats, most of these boats look like they're rusting out. They haven't had the tourism, and most of the companies that purchase them or are operating them have gone out of business because there's no tourists, and so they're just kind of sitting there floating, and there's algae all around them, and they're kind of rusting out in the docks. There are reports that some of these steamers that were operational, the rebels have co-opted and stolen them from this resort up here, and they've mounted things like machine guns to the bow and things like that, and they have been known to take pot shots at people that are too far north. But a lot of this information that you're finding, these news articles, are all third hand.
They're all
So
hearsay.
I'm concerned the air raft isn't going to be a good platform for trying to recover this wreck or even search for it. It's just too small. Do you guys agree?
Let's look for rental vehicles. I don't want to stink up this air raft with fish either way.
Fish.
Yeah.
Go in that little town on foot.
All right, hold on just a second.
I guess I should buy a fishing kit. I've just got to be a tackle shot.
Sounds like these steamers might be available one way or the other too. But probably not fast enough to run away from trouble if it comes looking for us.
Because I was hoping to rent a boat in that little town as opposed to New Okayama or, of course, Kakta, whatever that is.
Oh, there's
There we
those
go.
two other towns on the western shore.
Yeah. But I'm more concerned also about what's going to happen once we cross that line.
All right. So the new vehicle catalog is now going to be made available. I just bought it.
I'm thinking of buying that. I think it'll make my third, so I'm not sure I want to do that.
Well, I've been wanting to get it because anytime there's more vehicles, it's always good. God, I wish they would come out with a bestiary book, but so far no dice.
Aliens of Charted Space?
Well, there's that, but I mean, like, give me a book of critters and animals and monsters that you can throw at your travelers on any given world. They could even separate it out by like various subsectors and a number of planets or however they want to do it. Or they can just do it alphabetically. Because, like, a lot of these animals, like, for instance, Tencher's wolf is a great example. A lot of those animals can be found on multiple worlds because they've been, they've traveled around just like the player characters have. So,
Dolphins.
that's something that I can open up and say, I'm going to throw, this dinosaur at you, and here are the specs.
Why were dolphins used in combat in the Imperium? Or it wasn't the Imperium, it was who used it against the Imperium.
Well, dolphins are uplifted, and they have a lot of thoughts upon whether they like to have been uplifted or not. And so that could be one reason.
Huh. What do you mean they've been uplifted?
So they have been taken either. There have actually been 2 or 3 different programs where they have been genetically altered to be more intelligent, and they've been uplifted to the same level as like humans.
A competent normal. Okay.
Well, I mean, there is some evidence that the ancients did it, but there's also evidence, direct manipulation by the Soleimani Confederation. The Soleimanis are big on doing uplifting and genetic engineering. Like, they've done uplifted apes. There's one of those uplifted apes is actually running around as a pirate in the Trojan Reach.
Huh.
So yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff.
But that's mostly the Soleimani.
That's mostly the Soleimani. The dolphins though are kind of funny because they really kind of make fun of everybody else, and they, in a lot of cases, the dolphin species have at least a minor amount of psionics. And so there's not a whole lot that the Imperium can do about outlawing them because that they're born that way. And so it can be quite interesting.
What's the terrain like here? If we get on that north shore, north of where we think the wreck is, can we hide out there? Are there inlets that we could hide in? Is a terrain like foliage down to the beach, or
So a lot of this
would
beach,
it?
I mean, this would be like a desert lake town, but there is some inlets and whatnot that you could pull into and kind of hide. Um, wow, a lot of these are way high. Boats. Yeah, a lot of these are really super high level, high tech level stuff. So yeah, I mean, there's inlets, but as you are looking through here, I mean, there there's a few rental companies, but they're all renting out these steamers. Shit, they'll even sell you one of the steamers outright if you want to buy it and not rent it.
How's the performance on them?
They are good old fashioned. They're not. Despite their name of being called steamers, they are not diesel or fuel items. They do have an electric power plant. Um, they basically can take you from New Okayama all the way up to Kokta and maybe part way up this river, all the way up here north before needing to make port and to recharge. And they have solar power cells on the top of these things that would, if you run the battery all the way down, you can park it and or make port, and in 2 or 3 days it'll be completely recharged and you can go about your business.
So I think we'd be looking for something with a shallow draft and fast, and with enough space for what we need to do, right? Do we need anything else other than that?
Want boats for everybody.
Where's the airdrop being made?
So the airdrop is going to
Good
be
question.
made. That is a very good question. The data that you have is that the airdrop is going to be made right there.
Oh, next to a road. Great. Okay.
Yeah, just off of the main road.
So should we send some folks with when's the airdrop being made?
So the airdrop from your present position will be made in 4 days.
Oh, that's a long time.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. So we have time to figure out the steamer situation then, if that's the direction we want to go. And do we want to see about hiring some of these probably out of work sailor types, put them under NDAs with no government contacts that
An NDA by, if you talk about this, you get the body pistol.
be a little more delicate than that, but I don't want these folks talking about who they were with, how many of us they were, what we were doing, any of that stuff. And at least an NDA might be a little scary to them.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, you can make a streetwise plus intellect check to kind of poke
well,
around.
I'm kind of soliciting the team to see if we agree that that's a good idea, because we're going to want folks to be able to stand guard, right? So we're not having to do guard
Yeah, I think
duty
a simple threat will be
Sorry?
suffice. I doubt that they'll think that an NDA is something that the power of the NDA, I really doubt that, as opposed to just a threat.
You're probably right, but that's how Solvay thinks.
Well, and
Um,
I mean, just looking around this town, you do see that there are a number of people that are out of work. The fishing boats are still running, but it does seem like the entire everything that you've seen about Hazel since the economy has dried up from tourism. There's a lot of people that are out of work, so it may not
And
be
so
willing
difficult to find them.
probably willing to do something a little illicit.
Probably
yes,
after 10 years, more than likely, yeah.
Oh, it's been that long? Okay.
Yeah, I mean the rebellion broke out and the tourist industry kind of shut off overnight.
So we don't
So
want somebody
Brian,
who's
is that you
already.
said the airdrop's happening here? Is that what that is?
Correct. This red
And
square.
do you want to go to this town then and suss that out?
Sure. Yeah, that's not far away. The aircraft could easily do that.
Yeah, I mean that's 1, 2, 3. It's only 40 miles away, so an air raft could do that in under an hour.
And we're still behind the line.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's check them out.
So this particular town's a little bit off of the shoreline. It doesn't have the major docks like the like New Okayama did, but it does have some fishing boats and whatnot, much smaller. Pretty much everything in this town is all local. You don't see any major businesses that you would know. It's all local to Hazel. There's like a, you know, fish fry place, and it looks like this town was basically set up to be like a carnival atmosphere kind of town. I'm thinking Seaside, Oregon, but you guys probably don't know what that's like, and it's basically like a year-round carnival. There's bumper cars and that kind of elephant ears and cotton candy, and there's a nickel arcade, and there's bumper cars and a number of boutique shops. Most of those boutique shops are closed up, but there is still an attempt to keep the tourist economy going. But there are a number on the, of course, western side of the road. There are a number of small fishing docks with some of these smaller steamers. Everybody can make a recon plus intellect check. Nice.
I am rolling well.
So Salve, Remo, and Gully, you guys in this town, you're kind of looking across the road, and you can see that there is a what was a used boat lot, and on a trailer in this boat lot, you see a steamer, and mounted on the deck of the steamer is a gun. And I need to. Where's my weapon? This thing has a black powder mortar. No, not. This thing's got. This thing's got. God, not an autocannon. Jesus Christ, you guys.
Autocannon be fine. That's totally fine.
Yeah, so let's go with an autocannon. No, it's a machine gun.
They're really good for fishing.
Right.
Absolutely.
I don't know. Maybe I think these vehicle weapons are way too beefy. That's more than I'm looking for. No, this thing's it's basically a light MG.
Okay.
There we go. This is more what I'm thinking.
Did you put something up?
No, I'm still.
Oh.
So yeah, this thing on its bow has a pintle-mounted heavy advanced combat rifle.
Oh, okay.
Oh, come on.
Is that used for conflicts with the rebels?
So when you kind of look this thing over, You see that there are a number of there we go. There are a number of bullet holes in the cabin. You don't the whole of the ship though looks like it's solid. It is covered in various amounts of rust. It's sitting on a trailer and it propped up on a cinder block. But on the bow is mounted this heavy advanced combat rifle on a pintle mount, and it is belt fed. It has no actual belt like in it. It's not loaded, but it's sitting there. The gun has seen better days. It's a little rusty and
What kind of gun is
probably
it? Sorry.
it's a heavy advanced combat rifle.
Nice.
So it looks serviceable. It's not a chunk of rust completely.
No, it looks like you guys that know your guns, you could go over and you could clean this thing up and get it to function. And the only thing is, I mean, it could take a magazine, but it is designed right now as a pintle mount. It's designed to be belt fed.
Okay, we're gonna have to look around for ammo for that if we buy it. I like having something heavier.
Belt fed ammo. Yeah.
Sorry.
So I don't have belt fed ammo. Sorry, I do have ammo for it, but not belt fed.
How's the rest of the boat look?
It looks serviceable. I mean, looking over the engine compartment, it looks like it needs to be cleaned out and it might need to be tuned up a bit. But you think that like a couple of hours of mechanic work, you could get this thing up and running.
The greasy salesman's not coming out
Nobody's
with us
coming out.
drawing all of his-
So nobody's coming out. In fact, there is a small building that was just off of this lot, and it looks like at one time there was there. You can see that there are other boats. They're not on trailers. They're just laying kind of on their side, kind of spread
Okay.
around this empty lot, and all of the windows and the door leading into the building are all boarded up.
Okay. You want to go in the bar and ask about the boatyard or a nearby business that's open?
Where's my drinkers? You guys go find out some information from the local drunks.
Yeah.
Let's go carouse.
Yeah, you can either make a streetwise plus intellect check or a carouse plus intellect check. In either case, you can gain a +1 for every 100 credits you decide to spend spreading around the night train.
Okay. I'll drop 200 credits on. Well, this is an easy thing. 100 credits.
Nice. So
And
yeah,
that was carouse, by the way.
yes. So you are spreading around the love, buying drinks. You get a lot of new friends.
Is there any
Gully,
Marines in here? Former Marines?
there are not. You Gully drinks a lot, but doesn't really get a whole lot of love. As far as the locals seem to all be gathering around Remo and Salve, and in that process, you kind of learn that the story that you have already picked up is that you know yeah, it sucks. The economy died, blah blah blah. Uh, the owner of that lot is gone, and uh, they packed up and moved. Nobody knows where they went. But that boat on the trailer, somebody actually just before the owner vacated, they found it adrift out in Lake Okayama, and they boarded it, legit salvage, and brought it up. They think that it was used by the rebels at one point, but there's no way to confirm that. They didn't find anybody aboard.
Okay.
And
Um,
so a number of these locals, and we'll say 4 of them, are like, well, I mean, were you thinking of wanting to buy it? Because I mean, it technically is abandoned. So if you need a crew for it, and if you're paying, we would be willing to help you out.
So I'd like to do a computer check, see if we can find out anything more about the history of this boat, like was it registered, et cetera? Who is it registered to, if those sorts of things are available?
Sure, you
And
you have access to the data net. Go ahead and make a electronics computers plus intellect check. You can add your database uh, software and a +1 if you got an agent.
this right this time.
That looks correct. So yeah, your search on the data net. I mean, this is all publicly searchable information. What the registration of this boat comes up is that the last known registry of it is that it was a tourist steamer. It was basically offering lake tours from New Okayama all the way up to Kokta. And it was registered as a complete loss, and an insurance payment was paid out to the original owners. And
Okay.
and that was maybe 5 years ago. And then it kind of just disappears off of the official radar.
Sounds perfect. What do you guys think about a crew?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
So yeah, these guys, they initially, so these four guys kind of, step away and they murmur drunkly amongst themselves, and they're like, okay, well, we'll want 150 credits per day, and
So
no questions asked as to where you want to go.
talking between ourselves, I don't want to make us a target. We've spent money here. We've certainly attracted a little attention from some potentially seedy folks. So that's kind of a concern.
I don't
But
mind Steve.
sorry.
No, Steve folks don't bother me, I say.
I mean,
Okay.
for the most part, most of these people, are they seedy? Certainly.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily put them as into criminal mastermind category, though. They are, they're broke. The
Okay.
economy is shit, and they're
not
just
afraid
about
of
willing
people.
to do anything for a buck.
So it's four of them. They'd want
150,
150 per
100,
person per day.
150 per person per day. If you can, if you want to negotiate that, you could make a broker plus intellect check.
I will definitely negotiate it. 150 is not enough. Let's do 200 per person per
Oh.
day.
Well, in that case, you
And
don't need to make a check. They'll be like, okay.
I should hope not, because and I want to emphasize their discretion and loyalty to us is going to be a determining factor about whether they get paid that day or maybe they don't come back. I don't know.
Oh, so
Right.
yeah, so these guys are all like, oh, well, okay, and they you see that they kind of get a little bit at that last clause. They kind of get a little sketchy, and the one guy says, look, man, I'm going to tell you right up front that we have no love for the local government. They have done nothing to solve the problem of the economy. They haven't tried to negotiate with the rebels. And the other guy says, "Well, you know that the rebels started as the Ein Gevar, right?"
I did not know that.
So anybody, if you know you probably don't know anything about the Ein Gevar. The Ein Gevar are known pretty much in little brush fires all across the Spinward marches for the most part. And initially, and this I would when I say initially, probably a good 25 years ago, they initially started out as they weren't necessarily a bad thing. They were doing charities, they were trying to do protests, they were trying to get things changed on particular worlds that really, quite honestly, needed change, especially when the big mega corporations came in. The Eingevar would stand up and do the protests and say, you need to stop strip mining, you need to stop destroying the environment, you need to stop treating people this way. Well, they didn't get very far with that, and they got sick of it. And they got an influx of, in air quotes, assistance, and occasionally they got a bundle of cash, and they took it to a more terrorist route. And today, the Eingevar is pretty much known as a known terrorist group operating throughout the Spinward Marches on multiple worlds in different multiple cells. And none of the cells really have the same tactics or agenda. One might be doing good charity work and running a soup kitchen, while on another planet they might be blowing up the fuel reactor for a major city in order to cause widespread blackouts and life support loss. So it's a mixed bag. There are some rumors that some of the Eingevar cells have received funding and assistance from Jodani intelligence operatives trying to sow dissent within the Imperium. That's never fully been confirmed, but it is widely believed.
Okay.
So these rebels are actually backed by the Eingevar.
While we're carousing with these guys and getting to know our new friends, hirelings 1 through 4, I'd like to suss out their skill set, but also their affinity for these Eingevar folks.
So, yeah, go ahead and you can make another carouse plus intellect check. Or actually, in this case, go ahead and make a carouse plus social check. Because now you're buddying up to him.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. So, so you're kind of you buy another round of drinks, and they one of them tells you that well, they're the rebels aren't really that bad. What they want is better pay. They want less restrictions on the lake, a loosening of environmental restrictions, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And, the typical bullshit. And he says that, yeah, I'll admit, I have a couple of friends that are affiliated, not necessarily directly involved, but, I have a, a, a third cousin that, knows some people in the Eingevar.
So are we hiring that guy?
Yes.
Okay. If you guys are good with it, I'm good with it.
And so, now that you've kind of cozied up to them a little bit more, and you're offering a ton of money, the one that initially kind of negotiated, for the 150 apiece, he says, so we're gonna work on the boat, and he says, I estimate, he says, half of that. So he says probably about 2.5 days worth of work on the boat. He says, we can probably get her up and running. And he looks out the window and he says, I saw you guys pull up in an air raft. He says, you could probably find a way to, if you're careful, tow it out to the lake. So 2.5 days we can get her in the water. We can double check for any leaks. Most of these guys have a background. They were either in the fishing industry on the lake, or they were a part of the tourist industry. Most of them did a little bit of both, and so they know how to operate these steamers. He tells you, he says, so 2.5 days we should be able to get her on the lake. And the guy with the contact to the Eingevar, he says, so is anybody going to talk about that gun on the bow? Are we taking that off, or are we leaving it?
Oh, that's staying. And in fact, I would love to have some ammo for that because some of these fish get very feisty.
Says, yeah, yeah. He says, yeah, some of those carp and bass, downright dangerous. Says,
I've seen
you what?
they can be several $100.
Right? Yes. He says,
And sometimes, yeah, go ahead, sorry.
so he says, well, you guys, and he looks at the other three, he goes, you guys are working on the boat. I'm going to go call my cousin, and I'll see if I can't do anything about getting something for that gun to shoot.
Oh, I would like to stay close enough to him to overhear that conversation,
Sure.
if I can
Yeah.
do it discreetly.
He welcomes you to come along with him.
Okay.
What are the what are the
and
rest of you guys doing? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I remind him about the need for discretion.
He says, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah." He says, "Mum's the word." He goes, "In fact, he goes, to be honest, the topic of what we're doing out on the lake hasn't even come up. So
Yep.
maybe just don't tell me and just point us in a direction."
We're fishing.
I like that idea. We're fishing.
Yeah.
Fishing.
So while this conversation is going on, Gully, what are you doing? You guys are in a seaport or a town, local town dive bar.
I'm thinking we've got, what did he say, 2.5 days to wait for the craft and 4 days to wait for the airdrop. So
Yeah, so I mean, you're
Put 'em
two
in
and a half.
time.
So that 4 days, 2.5 of them are going to be spent working on the boat, and then you got like
Right.
another,
Good.
1.5 days. You got to wait for the airdrop. Yeah, I mean, you could spend your time
So we're just
drinking.
burning time until we get ready to do work on the boat.
Okay,
Is this
so
a resort town?
it is.
Sorry.
What's left
Okay.
of Resort Town? Yeah. So what is Takahashi doing?
So this town, is there like medical services here, or is it like
There is a small clinic.
okay?
And when I say a small clinic, like you've seen veterinary offices that are probably bigger than this clinic. It's got, a waiting area, a reception desk, and like 2 rooms.
I'm gonna go up and ask if they could use some help.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, you go up and check out this clinic. There is a local doctor who has Medic 2. So he knows his stuff. Basically, he has very little to do, and he recognizes that you are an off-worlder, and he says that he wants to make sure that you're inoculated. He says that the bacteria, and of course everybody's wearing a filter mask, outdoors. He says the bacteria on the world for off-worlders can cause pretty bad respiratory infections. Want to make sure that you are inoculated and you're taken care of.
That's actually what I want to see you about. I want to see if make sure I get some inoculations for my fishing group.
So
I'd be happy to trade or pay if you have the resources. Here.
so I mean they offer inoculations for tourists. It's 50 credits per person for a 7-day inoculation.
All right, so how many? We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need 5, right? 4 or 5.
We all inoculate
but
already.
you would
From the
want
company.
6 on hand. I don't know.
6.
I don't know. Maybe everybody will be here next week.
But we
right.
got them from the company. That's
Oh,
Right.
you did?
You took one. You would have taken one before you landed. You got one in your
We need the
pocket.
boosters.
Yeah, you got one in your pocket. So I mean, if you wanted to buy some more, each one of these is good for 7 days.
All right, wait a
and-
minute. We're here for 4. We're gonna have 3 days, 10 days with including the second dose.
Right. Yeah. So with
So
the 2
we
doses,
are
you're looking
burning
at a
time.
total of 14 days. So
Well, I'll buy 1 extra for all of us.
Is it
Just-
room temperature storage?
How
I'm
much was that?
50 per dose.
Okay, so 250. All right.
Yeah, and he goes over the standard, the standard it's a self-injecting auto injector pen. You just, give
Yep.
each other an injection, and he says you should be good. And he does tell you, he says that even with the inoculation, after about, and he says if you're on planet for this long, he tells you that after about 6 months, he tells you with the injector you don't need to wear the filter mask. The air's a little thin, but not terribly. He tells you that after about 6 months worth of time, the your body will build up its own immunity to the bacteria, and you won't need the injections anymore.
Huh. Okay, I kind of give him a rundown of some of the, panaceas and medicinal drugs I have, and if he has a need for any of them, to ring me up while I'm in town.
Yeah, go ahead and make a broker plus intellect check.
Okay, so that's a 2d6 plus 2. So yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah, he doesn't really have any. He says that we really don't get that much business. I think we're stocked up on all that stuff. You know,
Well,
got
just put it out there. You never
an
know.
entire cabinet of typical government ibuprofen. So we're good.
And then I just kind of wander around town looking at, is there any like, sporting stores, or I'm
Oh
just
yeah.
looking basically if I can find, readily available ammo if I need it.
Don't find any readily available ammo. You find a number of like windsurfing shops, and there's,
Okay.
rollerblading stores and things like that. But you don't find any guns and ammo
Sport
shops.
fishing.
You do find some fishing stores, but they're all rod and reel.
Okay. Well, I just want to kind of get a layout of what's in the lake, and they got stuff mounted on a thing or pictures, and
Yeah, I
you know,
mean, Lake
I'm a
Okayama.
tourist fishing, right? So
Yeah, Lake
I'm
you
looking
you
for local wildlife, and
Yeah, you learn that Lake Okayama has at one time in the past it has been stocked for some reason with carp and with largemouth bass. The bass were actually they were fed into the river up north, and they kind of come down into the lake on their own. Um, they, those are the two biggest fishing industries, and you learn from the locals that these fish can grow quite large. Um, they were fed here from typical Terran stock. They haven't really changed. They haven't been on Hazel for long enough for them to really evolve or change in any major way. And luckily, the bacteria doesn't seem to affect the fish.
yeah, if there's like any like local like cookbooks, based on the game, I want
Oh
to pick
yeah,
one up.
yeah. There's a number, and all of the, and I forget the name of it. Um,
Sorry, this is off flavor, y'all. But
no, this is actually what is.
cookbook from Hazel.
So they what's the name of it? So they do. There it is. There are a number of cookbooks available that are both. There are some, of course, local cuisine chefs, but there are a number of Shugli cookbooks that are available for local cuisine. And so Shugli is a Volani cooking
Yep.
style that is very um, that is very held in very high regard. And it came about because all of the people, when the ancients dumped humans on land 300,000 years ago, the two problems that the people that they dumped there had were, one, they couldn't eat any of the food, and the second problem
Right.
was that the planet was basically run by by intelligent thinking machines. And I don't necessarily know that they were violent towards the people, but they got in their way a hell of a lot, and there was some minor conflict with the machines. The machines eventually died out on their own, but the people still had a problem of not being able to cook the food or eat the food. And so they came up with this elaborate cooking style called shugli that they use in order to make food edible. And so this has now become like this high-end cuisine all across the Imperium. And even in some places outside the Imperium, it's considered to be, 5-star restaurants. Oh, we have a Shugli chef on staff, and so there are a number of those cookbooks available as well.
All right, pick up the local and a Shugli.
Okay, so that'll cost you probably 50 credits.
Okay.
What is Remo doing?
I actually want to look for other off-worlders that may be poking around. So I'm going to hit the tourist stuff.
Okay.
See if anybody else has been outfitting that seems to be suspicious or unusual.
Sure.
And in the meantime, I'll buy a bunch of tourist crap myself.
Okay. So what kind of tourist crap are you wanting to buy?
Like T-shirts and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you know?
you get Southern or Ocean Pacific T-shirts and
Yeah.
Mossimo T-shirts. You get yourself a shark tooth necklace kind of thing.
And a bucket hat.
A bucket hat, yes. Says I went, Lake Okayama on the front, and it's got a stupid pocket on the side of it for some reason.
Yeah.
All I got is a stupid shirt. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So that probably costs you 100 credits in touristy shit. But you can make a investigate plus intellect check.
Not a problem at all. $14.
Ooh. So you find evidence, and you end up kind of following this other group around. It looks like they're a family, and they are obvious tourists. Like,
Yep.
they stick out like a sore thumb. They are mostly here to do windsurfing on the lake, and they're staying at one of the few resort hotels that are still open.
Okay.
And they are shadowed like everywhere they go nonstop by a guide. And the guy is like the typical Sean Penn character from you know Fast Times. And he follows them around everywhere. It looks like he's always baked out of his skull, and he's always eating gummies. And he just follows these people around and kind of herds them from one touristy shop to the next, and then takes them out and gives them, uh, windsurfing lessons on the lake. And that's basically his daily job.
Throw in some free hacky sack classes.
Yes, a free hacky sack class. It's foot bag. Yes. So,
well, I'm not too worried about them. So yeah, I'm basically just looking for anybody else that might be an off-worlder that might cause problems. So all right, yeah, I'm pretty happy about this.
So the other three of these crew members, they get, they finish up their drinks, and they get to work on that boat right away. Salve, you follow this guy, and he makes a call on his mobile comm, and you follow him over to the small little seaside kind of burger shack that is on the boardwalk. And you're kind of standing outside just waiting, and you see that there's this guy that comes walking up the boardwalk, and he's wearing a hoodie with the hood up, even though it's, I would say that it's right at that point where it's almost uncomfortably warm. So wearing a hoodie is a little weird, but he's got the hood up, and he keeps his head down, and he comes walking up, and he just kind of walks next to the crewman that you hired, and he kind of just taps him on the shoulder and walks around the back of this burger joint. And the guy goes, "Oh, that's my cousin. Come on." And he kind of follows him around the back. And the guy says, "Dude, now's not really a good time, but what'd you call me for?" And he goes, "Well, these guys got that. They're taking that boat out, and they want some bullets for that gun. He says, and so the guy in the hoodie turns to you, and he says, what do you need with an armed steamer?
Oh, we're just minding our own business and want to make sure everybody else does too.
Ooh, go ahead and make a deception plus intellect check.
Where's the deception?
Well, I mean that is true. Go ahead and make a persuade plus intellect check. It always cracks me up with the persuade deception. Well, I'm not persuading him. Persuading him. I'm intimidating him. Well, intimidation can be persuasive. Right?
Sure.
Intellect versus social.
I think in this case, intellect would probably be
Okay.
the smoother part.
No.
Oh, he says. Well, he says. So here's the thing, man. He says. I can get you, ammunition for the gun on that boat, but I need some kind of assurance that you're not some government agent that's trying to back me into a corner here. And so I'm not going to give you any kind of permanent, obvious evidence until I can confirm that. And so I'm going to need to know what you're doing here.
Well, maybe this isn't going to work then. We'll find somebody else.
He says, well, good luck with that.
I mean, you might want to consider that at a certain point they're going to see what we're doing, right? He's going to be with us.
Well, the one crew member is, yeah.
Okay, all right.
It's the cousin that's asking, and we don't know him.
Yep, gotcha. Yep, no problem. Yep.
Yeah, so he's like, good luck with that, and he turns to the crewmate and he goes, "Thanks for wasting my time, cuz," and he pulls his hood up and kind of storms off.
No, you wasted your own time. You talked yourself out of a payday.
So make another persuasion plus. This time you can make persuasion plus intellect.
My other rolls have been so good.
There you go. And he kind of stops. He takes like 3 steps away, and he kind of stops. And he pulls his hood back down again, and he turns around and he goes, "What kind of payday?"
What's the ammo worth to you? These are belts of 200 probably, or
200 round belt. Look here.
we probably won't need it. So we'll just leave it with your cousin here when we go off world because we can't take it back with us. So
Okay.
we're basically renting it from you. So what do you think 3 belts of 200 rounds is worth?
Says, well, he says, I can bring you 3 belts of 100 rounds each. And
Short belts. Okay.
He says, I would want I would want 600 credits for him.
So 200 per belt. All right, let's see the ammo, make sure it's in good quality, and discretion is the key. So I'm paying for the discretion as well as the ammo. Agree?
He says, absolutely. He says, my lips are sealed.
All right.
And so he tells you that he will be able to bring that tomorrow. He says he'll bring it right here, and he'll park a pickup truck behind this burger shack, and there will be a tarp over over the ammo in a crate in the bed of the truck.
Okay. How big is this alley that we're in?
It's barely wide enough for 2 vehicles to drive down.
Okay, so we could get the grav vehicle in here and just transfer the ammo.
Oh, certainly.
Okay. This feels like it'll be a little risky, so I'll want to make sure that everybody else is okay with it and maybe get some support.
Okay.
And we still won't have weapons by then.
So that was and I know that think you had said that you had purchased a mobile comm.
Yeah.
You are
Yeah,
also the company. I mean, I think your mobile comm that you bought is probably better. But they supplied everybody with tech level 10 comm dots.
Yeah, I
And
have one of those as well.
And they give everybody improved tech level 8 mobile comms as part of a corporate perk. So they work as computer/0. But like I said, I think the ones that you bought as out of your own pocket is probably better. So yeah, I mean everybody's got comm dots. If you want to contact everybody and let them know what's going on, you certainly can.
Oh, we can catch up this evening because he's not going to be here till tomorrow.
True. So in the town, you do find a basically it is a step above, barely like a Motel 6 kind of flea bag hotel. It's about the only one that isn't there is a major resort there that would be an option. The rooms at the major resort, they have plenty of rooms open. They are charging 200 credits per night. The Fleabag Motel is only charging like 60 credits per night.
Social status applies here. I can't. We need to stay in the nicer place.
I can't be seen. I can't be seen in that hotel.
No,
I mean,
that is a real thing.
Could this just fall under, we're having to pay a monthly lifestyle, right?
It could, yes. Yes, it could. That's true.
Mean, I know I'm trying to maintain my social, which is at 9, and I mean, I would imagine that that
bunch of hoity-toities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't want to lose
Yeah.
My physical stats suck. I don't want to lose social.
Exactly. Got to maintain the status quo.
Okay, so you guys get rooms at the resort, and it seems the resort seems like it is understaffed, but at the same time there's only one other group of guests that are staying in the resort. And technically, I guess you could say there are 2 other groups of guests. The other group of guests are like 3 of these beach bum bachelor guides that share a room and basically farm themselves out to any tourists that are coming in the area. They're the only other guests in this resort. And so you guys get a room, you eat well for the night, and the next day, who all is going for the ammo pickup?
Yeah, I'll have briefed the team on what's going on, of course.
Yes, you.
I'll go.
Okay.
I'll go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Remo, are you going?
I'm gonna go independently to be and like set myself up watching like a Overwatch. Okay,
go ahead and
not like I've got a sniper rifle or anything I could actually do it. but I don't want to show up with the main group. That's
okay. All. Okay, so you kind of stand off to the side. You're not necessarily being stealthy, but you can go ahead and give me a deception plus intellect check.
Sure.
So that you kind of seem like you're browsing local news media or whatever. Yeah, so you blend in, and the rest of you kind of show up. And indeed, here is this truck at the specified time. There is, and the cousin is there with his hood up, again. Doesn't look like he's changed out of his clothes. And there is a tarp over three elongated kind of rectangular boxes. You can see the shape through the tarp in the bed of the truck. And as soon as you come walking up, he looks at Salve and he says, "So let me see the credits first."
Okay. I'm prepared to do an electronic transfer as soon as we see the ammo.
And so he kind of looks at your mobile com and he goes, "Okay." And he flips it up, and here is a bunch of uh, ACR, heavy ACR ammo.
It looks serviceable.
Yeah, they're in three ammo boxes. All of them are stamped with. Hold on, I need to tell you where they're from. Here we are. All of them are stamped with the military emblem and label of Trin regulars. Trin being the capital of this subsector. So these all fell off of a military truck somewhere.
Off a grav vehicle.
Yeah. Yeah, they fell
Okay.
off the back of an air raft.
Because they're convertibles.
Right. Yeah. If they had a top on them, this shit wouldn't happen.
All right. I'll pay the guy, and we can load those into the air raft and get out of here.
Okay, so yeah, you load that up into the air raft. You guys spend another couple of days here, and like clockwork, as these guys said, 2.5 days, and they have you assist with the air raft, and they get this boat in the water, and so you have a serviceable steamer, and they give you a thumbs up. They said it's not, it's not beautiful, but it works. They didn't do anything with the gun. You guys, whoever wants to do something with the gun, would need to make a gun combat plus intellect check to do a cleanup on the gun.
I'm not that guy.
I can do it, I guess.
Nice.
So what is that? What did you
Excellent.
say it was? Slug thrower plus one?
It would be gun combat slug plus intellect.
Okay.
Excellent. So Goalie goes about cleaning up the gun. You get it loaded up. I don't. Do you want to test fire it? I mean, you're
Maybe
just
not
outside
here.
of a. Yeah, maybe.
maybe not exactly here.
So, oh yeah, if you've got profession armor, you can definitely help with that. You get this gun cleaned up. It's looking pretty damn good. It's all oiled. It's ready to go. The only thing left for you guys to do is you wait the next day or so, day and a half, for the airdrop. Who's going for the airdrop?
Me.
Okay.
All of us go in the air
Yeah,
raft?
you can all go in the air raft.
Yeah.
All right, so Remo, go ahead and give me a. It's got the air raft has auto navigation in it, so just go ahead and give me a flyer grav plus dex check. You get a +1 to that for nav. Perfect. It was a 6 easy. There's a road that goes right there, and so you take off down the road, and you see out of like just rocketing in, like they literally pointed the nose down and turned off their maneuver drives, and they're falling like a stone. You see a hero class A2 far trader falling like a rock, and at about maybe a kilometer above the ground, they fire their maneuver drives and kind of come in low, kind of to a skid, and you see a pallet come out with on a grav sled, and it kind of hits. Initially it falls, and then it stops, and then gently floats to the ground on this grav sled, and this A2 far trader just takes back off up and breaks Atmo within the next couple of minutes. And so you have a crate. Everybody can arm up with an advanced combat rifle. There are 2 magazines for the ACR. You get your dive equipment. You get an auto pistol with 2 magazines. And the Robo Diver has its own crate. And this Robo Diver is a robot on the ground. It moves very slowly, but it has tracks. So you can put it on the ground and it will follow you around on the ground. Underwater, it has much more maneuverability.
Okay. We better get the stuff and get out of here because that might have attracted attention too.
Okay, so who wants to give me a navigation plus intellect check?
Let's see here. Navigate. Because I've got the chip.
Heard of that word.
I've got the chip plugged in.
I know you slotted a chip for it.
Yeah. Oops, cancel. Hold on. Defaulting to education. Switch that to intellect.
What's a flak vest project for the protection value?
Flak vest is
5.
here. Yes, I believe it is +5. Double check that. Oh wait, I got a better way of doing that. It
10
is...
on net. 10 on navigation.
Excellent. So yeah, flak jacket is +5 at TL8.
TL8. Okay.
All right. So, and let me look to see. I don't think these things are super fast. I would say in your, let's see. That's about 50 kilometers. I would say that that's probably, you guys make it just beyond the line, and you can dock at this resort town for the night, resort city rather, for the night. And that is where we will pick up next week with you guys making your way to the wreck site and possibly some encounters with some of the rebels. I don't know. I have a feeling. I think there's like a, what did they say? There is a 1 in 6 chance of kilometers, so it's going to be random. But all right, we will pick this up next week on Friday night at 6 o'clock.
All right, man. Thanks a lot.
You're
Good
very
playing
welcome.
with y'all.
Have a good night, guys.
Take care, all.
Bye,
Take
y'all.
care.